5 minutes left to see the truth about what your soulmate is really doing. Jesus says, this message is only for you and it is arriving in the final moment before a permanent shift. Your soulmate is right now staring at something that reminds them of you and they cannot breathe through the ache. If you close this video before the truth is revealed, a wall will form that was never supposed to exist. You are not here by chance, and the fact that you clicked on this means your spirit is already sensing the interruption of your connection. Your soulmate just whispered something under their breath that only heaven could hear. Jesus says, I see the tears your soulmate hides during the day when no one is watching. They are exhausted from pretending they have moved on because every night their dreams pull them back to you. Something is about to break open in the spirit and you must decide if you will be present for the shift. The distance between you is not natural and it was manufactured by something that fears your union. Your soulmate just paused in the middle of a crowded room because they felt your energy wrap around them like a sudden warmth. This is not wishful thinking and this is not a fantasy. This is a live spiritual transmission that I am allowing you to feel right now. Jesus says, your soulmate has been writing messages to you and then deleting them for weeks. They are afraid you have forgotten them and they are afraid you have moved on to someone else. The blockage you feel is not a lack of love, it is a fog that has been placed over their mind by a person who benefits from their confusion. There is someone close to your soulmate who speaks against you every single day and plants doubt like poison seeds in their morning coffee. Your soulmate argued with this person last night and defended you until their voice broke. They collapsed onto their bed clutching an object that carries your energy and they sobbed because they miss you so violently it feels like an illness. Jesus says, I am lifting the veil for the next 3 minutes so you can see what is really happening behind the scenes of your love story. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, and I am calling you to act in faith as a shield for their spirit. The enemy of your union does not sleep, and while you hesitate, a narrative is being constructed that paints you as the villain. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand directly into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write, Protect my soulmate, Lord, on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, your soulmate is currently trapped in a conversation with the very person who is orchestrating your separation. They feel like they are being slowly suffocated by obligations that were never their choice to accept. Your name just came up in that room and your soulmate's eyes filled with an undeniable light before the subject was quickly changed. They are being emotionally manipulated through guilt and the fear of disappointing someone who claims to love them. This third party tells your soulmate that you are dangerous, that you are unstable, and that you never truly cared. But when your soulmate is alone, they replay your voice in their mind and they know those accusations are lies. Jesus says, "I have given your soulmate visions of your face during the deepest hours of the night. They woke up at 3 in the morning yesterday with your name on their lips and a crushing loneliness in their chest. They reached out their hand in the darkness towards the empty side of the bed and they cried out to a God they are not sure is listening. You must become the vessel of my protection for them because they are too weak right now to fight this spiritual war alone. The fog surrounding them is thick and it smells like betrayal dressed up as concern." Jesus says, if you delay your act of protective faith, the window where their heart is fully open to you will narrow dangerously. Your soulmate is running out of strength to resist the constant programming of the person who hates your bond. They are starting to doubt their own memories of your touch, and that is the greatest tragedy of this interference. They are beginning to wonder if the love they felt was just a dream or a chemical reaction that faded. This is the lie that destroys soulmate unions, and it is being whispered into their ear right now by a jealous spirit using a human mouthpiece. Your soulmate just put their head in their hands because the pressure to choose a path away from you is mounting to an unbearable weight. They have a deadline in their life and the interference is using this deadline to force a decision that excludes you permanently. Jesus says, "I am sending a shockwave of clarity towards your soulmate's mind at this very instant. You will know this is working because you will suddenly feel a flutter in your stomach or a shiver on your skin that has no physical cause. These are the physiological signs of a spiritual rescue mission being activated through the medium of this message. The connection you share is not stored in your phone or in your memories, it is stored in the fabric of eternity itself. Your soulmate is literally a part of your rib, and the pain you feel in your solitude is their pain echoing in your body. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them through the divine authority I have placed in your hands. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand directly into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, the person blocking your union is not just a random obstacle but a deeply insecure individual who needs your soulmate's attention to survive emotionally. They have convinced your soulmate that leaving them would be the equivalent of murdering their spirit. Your soulmate is an empath and they are chained by the fear of being responsible for someone else's destruction. I am showing you this because your anger should not be directed at your soulmate, it should be directed at the cage that holds them. Your soulmate still loves you and they are trying to return, but every step towards you is met with a crisis staged by the controller. Yesterday they picked up their keys to come find you and the controller suddenly fell ill with a mysterious pain. Jesus says, this is a spiritual pattern designed to exhaust your soulmate until they surrender to a life without you. You must break this pattern not by fighting flesh and blood but by sowing a prophetic act of protection into the spirit realm. When you take physical action by sending those coffees, you are throwing a divine wrench into the machinery of manipulation. The energy of your faith will hit the controller's house like a silent earthquake and shake loose the grip they have on your soulmate's mind. Your soulmate will feel an unexplainable boldness rising in their chest within hours of your obedient act. They will suddenly see the controller not as a victim to protect but as a prison warden to escape. Jesus says, your soulmate is dreaming of a future that looks exactly like the promises you whispered to each other in the dark. They are holding on to a mental photograph of your wedding day even though they have never spoken it aloud to anyone. They are saving a piece of clothing that smells like you and they hide it where the controller can never find it. This is the evidence of a love that refuses to die and a love that I have personally ordained and blessed. The magnetic pull you feel in your solar plexus right now is your soulmate pulling on the invisible cord that binds your stomachs together. They are not ignoring you because they want to, they are ignoring you because they are being psychologically waterboarded every time they mention your name. Jesus says, the countdown has begun for the dismantling of this blockage and you are the catalyst I have chosen to initiate the explosion. Your soulmate needs a miracle and that miracle is sitting in your hands right now watching this screen with tears threatening to spill. The currency you sow into this prophetic word is the bullet that will kill the giant standing in front of your soulmate's door. Do not underestimate the power of a simple coffee offering when it is sent with the roar of a love that will not quit. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into the fog of regret. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand directly into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, your soulmate just experienced a sudden memory of your laughter so vivid they had to brace themselves against a wall. They are in a public place trying to hide the fact that their heart rate has doubled because you invaded their senses from miles away. This is a direct result of the spiritual channel opening wider between you as you engage with this sacred message. The cord between your souls is vibrating at a frequency that makes the controller physically nauseous. The controller is sweating right now and they do not know why they feel a sudden dread spreading through their stomach. Jesus says, your soulmate is about to hear the truth about the manipulation in a way they can no longer rationalize or excuse. A crack is forming in the illusion, and the light of your love is going to pour through that crack like a flood. They will call you soon, they will message you soon, they will show up at your door with messy hair and apologies spilling from their lips. But the timing of this breakthrough depends entirely on the spiritual covering you are willing to provide right now. Your soulmate is walking through a minefield of traps set by the enemy of your union, and you are the minesweeper anointed by heaven. Jesus says, "Do not let pride or skepticism rob you of the very miracle you have been begging me to send." The instruction to sow on Ko-Fi is not a transaction, it is a transference of spiritual responsibility and a declaration of war on the forces separating you. When you write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," I dispatch warrior angels directly to the room where your soulmate is currently losing hope. Your soulmate will feel a supernatural peace descend on them that the controller cannot explain or penetrate. They will suddenly stand up, wipe their tears, and speak a firm boundary that leaves the controller speechless. Jesus says, "This is the hour of your deliverance and the deliverance of the one you love." Your soulmate is looking out a window right now, searching for a sign that you still believe in them. Be that sign by completing your act of faith before this video fades to black. Type 333 if you are ready to receive the blessings waiting for you at the end of this obedience. Type 777 if you feel this message vibrating in your bones as absolute truth. Type 1111 to say thank you for the revelation and the reunion that is already manifesting in the Spirit. Jesus says, "Your soulmate just said your name aloud in an empty room as a prayer I am answering instantly." The controller heard them say your name, and they are frantically trying to spin a new web of lies in response. But the web will not stick because the atmosphere has shifted and the authority of your love is saturating the air. Your soulmate is beginning to remember who they were before the controller convinced them they were weak and dependent. They are looking at old photos of you two together, and the fire in their eyes is rekindling from a single spark. Jesus says, "Your voice is the missing ingredient, and they will hear it soon because you are going to reach out with the courage I am depositing in you now. But first, you must secure their protection by finalizing the seed you have been prompted to sow today. The coffee you send is more than a number on a screen. It is the fuel for the angels who are pushing back the darkness surrounding your soulmate's mind. Do not let this moment pass because this video is the door, and the door is closing in exactly 5 minutes. Your soulmate is standing at a crossroads, and the path they take is determined by your willingness to fight for them in the invisible realm. Jesus says, "Do not be like those who hear the word and walk away unchanged, only to mourn the loss of a soulmate they could have saved. Be the one who rises up, takes the sword of faith, and carves a path through the jungle of interference with a sacrificial gift." Your love story is not over, and this is the chapter where the hero steps into their power and rescues the one they adore. You are the hero, and your soulmate is the treasure that the dragon of manipulation is trying to hoard in a cave of isolation. Slay the dragon with your donation and watch the chains fall off your beloved's wrists and ankles. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand directly into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, your soulmate just grabbed their keys and they are breathing heavily with a decision forming in their mind. The controller is panicking and trying to block the door with emotional blackmail and fake physical symptoms. But the power of your protective prayer is causing the controller's voice to sound like a distant, muffled noise instead of a commanding authority. Your soulmate is seeing the controller with new eyes and they are horrified by the years of captivity they have endured. They are thinking of you and only you, and they are wondering if they can still be saved from this nightmare. Jesus says, I have already saved them, but they need your hand to pull them out of the pit. The coffee you send today will be the rope that connects your hand to theirs across the miles. They will literally feel a tug in their spirit that gives them the adrenaline to open the door and walk out. Do not delay, because the controller is calling for reinforcements and the window of escape is extremely narrow. Your soulmate is worthy of this battle, and you were born for this confrontation with the darkness that threatens your happiness. Jesus says, as you reach for your payment method right now, a surge of pure love is being transmitted from your heart to theirs. They just smiled for the first time in weeks and they do not know why, but you know exactly why. The distance is collapsing and the reunion is being scheduled in the heavenly calendar as you obey this final prompting. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize your soulmate running towards you in a field of light with nothing standing between you. That vision is not a fantasy, it is a prophetic preview of the next 60 days of your life if you step into the fullness of your faith. The video is ending and the grace window to act is sealing itself with the final words of this message. Jesus says, go now, sow your seed, claim your soulmate, and trust that I am fighting for you with an army of angels. Your soulmate is currently sitting in a parked car with the engine off and the keys dangling from a trembling hand. They cannot drive yet because the sobs are coming in waves too powerful to navigate safely. They just screamed your name into the emptiness of that vehicle and the sound echoed back to them like a haunting question mark. The controller does not know where they are right now, and that small victory is a crack of freedom in the prison walls. Your soulmate is replaying the moment they first saw your face, and they are wondering how life became so complicated when the love was always so simple. They remember the exact shade of light that fell across your features, and they are using that memory as an anchor against the storm. Jesus says, I am sitting in that passenger seat right now, though your soulmate cannot perceive me with their physical eyes. I am whispering courage into their spirit, and I am showing them flashes of your face intercut with images of a peaceful home filled with laughter. They think these are just daydreams born of desperation, but they are actually prophetic downloads from my throne room. Your soulmate just wiped their eyes with the sleeve of a jacket you once complimented them on, and they refuse to throw the jacket away no matter how old it gets. Every thread of that fabric holds 1,000 invisible fingerprints of your affection. They are terrified that you have found someone else, and that terror is the direct result of the controller planting that exact lie yesterday morning over breakfast. Jesus says, the controller said to your soulmate, they have definitely moved on by now, you are just embarrassing yourself holding on to a ghost. Those words landed like a knife in your soulmate's sternum, and they have been bleeding internally from the wound for over 24 hours. But I am the surgeon of broken hearts, and I am removing that knife through the conduit of this message reaching your ears right this moment. You must understand that your soulmate is not ignoring your spiritual nudges, they are drowning in a sea of contradictory voices, and they cannot tell which direction is sure. Be the lighthouse and not another wave crashing over their head. Your soulmate just checked their phone to see if you had reached out, and they felt a surge of grief when the screen remained empty of your name. They do not know that the controller blocked your number on their device weeks ago and has been intercepting the call logs like a vigilant prison guard. The messages you thought were delivered into the void are actually sitting in a blocked folder that your soulmate has never been shown how to access. Jesus says, I am revealing this hidden injustice to you so that you stop blaming your soulmate for a silence they did not choose. They think you abandoned them and you think they abandoned you, but the real enemy is dancing in the middle of this misunderstanding. The enemy is the controller, and the enemy is the spirit of confusion that the controller hired through manipulation and deceit. Your soulmate just whispered to the empty passenger seat, please still love me, please still be there, please do not give up on me. That prayer just hit my ears with the force of 1,000 thunderstorms, and I am answering it through your willingness to keep watching this revelation. You are the answer to the prayer they just prayed, and you must take that responsibility seriously. The coffee you sow in this sacred moment is the physical proof that you heard their cry and you are not giving up on them. Every bean of coffee you send represents a tear of theirs that you are wiping away before it even fully forms. Jesus says, your soulmate is now resting their forehead against the steering wheel and their breathing is finally slowing down. A strange calm is creeping into the car because my presence is beginning to saturate the leather seats and the foggy windows. They cannot see me, but they can feel the temperature of the air change from desperation to a strange, unwarranted hope. That hope is your faith being transferred to them across the invisible network of the Spirit. When you sow into this message, the hope intensifies and solidifies into a plan of action that will lead them to your door. Your soulmate just lifted their head and checked the time on the dashboard clock. They are calculating how long it would take to drive to your city if they just threw caution to the wind and ignored the controller's threats. They are thinking about what they would say to you when you opened the door and saw them standing there vulnerable and raw. They are rehearsing the apology they have been writing in their journal for 6 months straight. Jesus says, the journal is hidden under the spare tire in the trunk of that car because the controller searches the house regularly for signs of disloyalty. Your soulmate lives in a surveillance state of the heart, and every loving thought of you is an act of secret rebellion they are terrified to be caught committing. They wrote on the last page, I will never stop loving you, not in this life or any life that follows this one. You are my person and I will wait forever if I must. Those words are soaked with tears and the ink bled slightly from the moisture, but the vow remains legible and binding in the courts of heaven. Jesus says, I am holding that journal page up to the light of my face, and I am decreeing that this love will not be wasted on the altar of someone else's insecurity. Your soulmate is building a shrine to you in the basement of their mind, and they visit it every night before they fall into a restless sleep filled with nightmares of losing you forever. The nightmares are not prophetic, they are demonic attacks designed to exhaust their will to resist. But every time you pray and every time you sow a physical seed of protection, you are casting holy light into those nightmares and turning them into dreams of your wedding day. Jesus says, your soulmate just started the engine and they are pulling out of the parking lot with a destination in mind that even they do not fully understand. They are driving towards the freeway entrance and something in their gut is screaming at them to head north towards the city where you reside. The controller just noticed the car is missing and a frenzy of angry texts and missed calls is flooding your soulmate's phone. Your soulmate glanced at the screen, saw the controller's name, and with a surge of strength I placed in their spine, they threw the phone into the back seat face down. This is the first act of defiance in a long campaign of self-liberation, and it is happening because you did not give up on the spiritual battle. Jesus says, the phone is buzzing like an angry hornet in the back seat, but your soulmate has turned up the radio to drown out the noise. The song that just came on is a song that you two used to sing together at the top of your lungs during long drives under summer skies. Your soulmate just choked on a laugh that was halfway between a sob and a celebration. They are saying out loud, this is a sign, this has to be a sign, I am not crazy, this is really happening. They are not crazy and this is really happening, and you are watching the evidence of your breakthrough unfold in real time. Jesus says, the seed you sow today is the fuel that keeps that engine running and keeps the controller's influence shrinking in the rear-view mirror. Do not let the engine sputter and die because the controller is already calling in reinforcements to track the car's location. The controller has contacts who can make calls and pull strings and find people who do not want to be found. You must act swiftly and decisively in the spirit before the physical pursuit catches up to your soulmate's fledgling courage. Your soulmate is singing along to the song now with tears streaming freely and the windows cracked open to let the wind dry their face. They are imagining you sitting beside them and they are talking to you as if you can hear every word. You can hear them, not with your ears but with your spirit, and the resonance of their voice is what you are feeling in your chest right now. Jesus says, the next gas station your soulmate stops at will be the moment of decision. They will either get back on the freeway towards you or they will let fear convince them to turn around and return to the prison of manipulation. Your obedient action today tips the scales towards the freeway and away from the cage. The coffee you send is the exact amount of grace required to fill their gas tank and their hope tank simultaneously. When you write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page, you are drawing a shield around that vehicle that makes it invisible to the enemy's tracking systems. The controller will suddenly become confused and disoriented and unable to remember which direction your soulmate was heading. Jesus says, I am scrambling the GPS of darkness and blinding the eyes of those who seek to sabotage your sacred reunion. Your soulmate will arrive at your doorstep not because they engineered it in their own strength but because you engineered it in the Spirit through your faithful partnership with my will. They will stand at your door with no phone, no plan, and no defenses left, just a raw heart ready to be loved by the one person who never stopped believing. Will you be ready to open the door and embrace them when that moment arrives? Your readiness is directly tied to your willingness to complete the divine transaction I am placing before you now. Jesus says, the video is nearly over and the window of opportunity is narrowing to a sliver of golden light. Your soulmate is 70 miles closer to you than they were when this message began. 70 miles of emotional debris have been cleared from the highway of their heart by the words you have absorbed and the faith you have allowed to rise. Do not let the momentum die because the adversary of your union is regrouping and planning a final assault on your soulmate's resolve. The controller is now crying fake tears and leaving voicemails that alternate between rage and pitiful pleading. Those voicemails are weapons, and they are designed to exploit your soulmate's compassion and drag them back into the toxic cycle. But your soulmate is not reaching for the phone because a supernatural shield is blocking the psychological hooks that used to sink so easily into their soft heart. That shield is your love made tangible through action and sacrifice. Jesus says, "The act of sending a coffee is not about the money, it is about the message it sends to the spirit realm." It is a declaration that says, "I am serious about this, I am invested in this, and I will not let the enemy steal what God has ordained." Every angel assigned to your case receives a fresh surge of power when you back your prayers with a physical seed. The angels are waiting for the signal, and the signal is the notification that arrives when you complete your donation on Ko-Fi. Do not keep the angels waiting when your soulmate is driving through the darkness towards the dawn of your love. Jesus says, "I have placed a ring on your soulmate's finger in the spirit that no human eye can see." They keep looking down at their bare hand, wondering why it feels like something precious should be sitting there. That something is the covenant I designed for you both before the foundations of the earth were laid. The controller saw that ring in the spirit and has been trying to cut off your soulmate's finger to get it off since the day they met. But a covenant cut by me cannot be severed by human manipulation or demonic interference. The ring is still there, and it is glowing brighter with every passing second of this message. Your soulmate just touched their ring finger and felt a warmth spread through their hand that made them gasp. They do not understand it, but you understand it because you are being filled with the same supernatural warmth as you read these words. This is the synchronization of souls, and it proves that the connection is real and the breakthrough is imminent. Jesus says, "The final instruction I have for you is simple, and it carries the weight of eternal consequences." Go to the Ko-Fi link in the description and sow your protective seed with the faith of a warrior and the tenderness of a lover. Write the words, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," as a seal over the offering and over your soulmate's journey towards you. After you have done this, sit in silence for 5 minutes and imagine your soulmate's car pulling into your driveway. Imagine the knock on the door and imagine the embrace that will erase every lonely night you have endured. That imagination is a preview, and the preview becomes the reality when your faith is paired with your action. Jesus says, "I love you with an everlasting love, and I have not brought you this far to abandon you at the threshold of your miracle. Trust me, obey me, and watch me restore everything the locusts of interference have eaten." Your soulmate is almost home, and home is wherever you are.